Hey, this is Bribiesca-Hedin here. I specialize in helping accomplished professionals shift from the frustration and disappointment of really what's an outdated model of career management focused around managing up and seeking validation and approval from a boss to a new empowered model of career management where they get to focus on strategically pursuing their goals. In essence, I help individuals go from reacting to what's happening around them to really focusing and taking committed action towards their individual goals and their purpose, what really drives them. And I take them by the hand and I show them step by step by step how to go from focusing on low and negative return activities that we've taken historically, like focusing on approval and validation from an unsupportive boss, to high return activities that really boost their opportunities, their capabilities, and focus on their priorities. To learn more about how I help my clients achieve this, stay tuned after this training video. Hi there, and welcome back to today's training break. So I got a question recently that I wanted to answer because I'm kind of surprised I don't get it more often. One of my followers asked, what would you do in 5 minutes? Tell me, what would you do if you were caught in a bad workplace situation and you wanted to get out in 3 to 6 months? In a nutshell, and you had to explain it in 5 minutes. I said, okay, challenge accepted. So here's my answer to that. As you can imagine, there are a few different pieces, but I start out by getting really, really clear on what it is that I want. I know, from experience, having been in an unsupportive or negative, toxic workplace, that I know what I don't want. I know what's not working, but I know that a significant amount of time could go by that I hadn't truly tuned into what it is that I wanted. So I'd get really clear on what I want, because I've been amazed in the past at how knowing what to look for makes all sorts of opportunities become available. Or maybe they've always been there, but certainly as human beings, we just get better at tuning into them once we're clear what we're looking for and what it is that we want. So that's number one, getting clear on what it is that I actually want. Then I'd go on to, assuming I didn't have already all of this training, right? I'd immediately dive into learning how to tune out the noise. That the noise is what I call anything in the environment or in your head that's disempowering and just doesn't serve us, right? And there's a lot of it. So I would just learn how to keep from being distracted and discouraged by the noise. For the most part, tuning into what's going on in our heads, if we're looking to reflect and be really thoughtful, it can be helpful. But when we stay in our heads and stay there with the noise, it's a real disservice. So I try to get out of my head. And then that leads me to the next. And that is, it's really important to engage. I know that when I'm having a hard time, my natural tendency is to want to pull back and hide and disengage and just keep my head down. But the reality is that nothing positive, nothing empowering, and certainly no breakthroughs come from disengaging with others. So I would be deliberate about reaching out and engaging to people in my environment. And it doesn't have to be about anything formal. I might just reach out to find out what they're up to, what's going on with them, what's working, what isn't. And these would be, my colleagues, my former colleagues, my neighbor, my clients, anyone that I interact with at work who's been somewhat supportive on some level that I feel some level of comfort engaging with. I would start there, right? Because that's an easy entry. So I would start there to just build my ability to collaborate and contribute and really find ways to validate my contribution. Because again, from experience and from working with clients, we forget how valuable our contribution is. So that's where I'd go with it. Engaging with others, being deliberate about collaborating and contributing, because that's going to help me remember the value that I bring. And that's almost the beginning of being able to do anything from an empowered place. The next one is, and hopefully this applies to most, and it has nothing to do with anything going wrong, but rather you do it even when things are going right. And that is that I would want to surround myself with people who are going to lift me higher. If that sounds familiar, that's because Oprah said it. And I wholeheartedly believe this. We all need our own personal board of advisors. We all need our own support crew. And the reason it's so valuable, the reason that we need them is because when we get tired, when I'm in that situation, I'm in that toxic workplace, I'm going to get tired. I'm going to get discouraged. I'm going to get distracted. But my personal board of advisors or my mastermind group or my support crew, whatever you want to call them, they are not tired for me. They help me stay motivated. They give me energy. They give me focus, and they give me accountability. So that is that last thing that I would do, and that I would keep for the rest of my career, and continue to work with that level of focus, focusing on what it is that I want and remaining clear on that, leveraging tools to block out the noise and stay focused on activities and thoughts that actually serve me. Surrounding myself by people who are supportive and engaging with the people in my environment, even if it feels counterintuitive in the moment. And what I might want more than anything is to hide as a result of, some of the challenges I'm experiencing. So that's what I would do. And I hope you find that helpful.